You ever been so stunned by something unfolding in front of you that your body clenches every part of you, but you're rooted there, frozen, unable to look away? That's exactly what it felt like late one evening in Grove City, Ohio, barely south of Columbus. The sun had drained toward the horizon, yawning long shadows across the concrete, and the air was thick with the scent of gasoline mixed with the ghost of frying food from the convenience store attached to the marathon station. A handful of people milled by, drifting in and out, when something clicked, the kind of moment that stays in your memory because you knew you were watching something almost surreal. At Pump 6, a man named Anthony Riker, 44 years old, had just wrapped up a long day at his law office downtown. He'd traded the pressure of suits and ties for a gray hoodie and jeans, casual, unassuming. To anyone present, he was just another guy finishing errands before heading home. Slid the card into the pump, waited, leaned on his car door. Innocuous. But when the police cruiser rolled in, headlights slicing across the pavement, what followed felt wrong before it happened. Officer Mark Dunley stepped out first, belt jangling, stance rigid. Behind him, Officer Kyle Brenner followed, silent and shadowed. No eye contact, no greeting, except Dunley's clipped, "Evening, sir. Mind telling us what you're doing here?" Anthony blinked, caught slightly off guard, replied, "Getting gas." "What does it look like?" Which was true. "License and registration," came the response. Anthony looked down at the nozzle in his hand. "For what?" "I'm not driving off. I just paid. You can ask the cashier." A few people noticed. A woman holding a soda whispered to the man next to her. Another pulled out her phone, pointing it subtly toward the scene. Brenner hovered. "We got a call about suspicious behavior," he said. "Said you were hanging around too long." Anthony chuckled, shaking his head. "I've been here 5 minutes. Check the receipt. Timestamp, you'll see." Dunley's tone darkened. "Sir, step away from the vehicle." Anthony bristled. "You see what's happening here? I'm buying gas, and these guys are treating me like a criminal." A man by the red box machine muttered, "He's right. They don't look like cops mad for nothing." The woman with the soda seemed focused on filming. Dunley's patience snapped. "Hands where we can see them." Anthony raised his hands, nozzle poised. "For buying gas? Seriously?" Then Brenner grabbed the nozzle, yanked it free, clanging it to the pump. Dunley twisted Anthony's wrist behind his back with a sharp click of handcuffs. "You're being detained for trespassing and failure to comply." Anthony's lips tightened. "Harassment? You're making a mistake." The crowd stirred, videos capturing every second as they streamed in real time. Someone yelled, "We saw the whole thing." Another said, "He didn't do nothing." They marched him to the cruiser, shoulder pressed, click of the doors, engine starting, racing away. Within minutes, shaky phone footage lit up social media. One clip, Anthony standing calm, arms pinned, voice steady. Caption, "Man arresting just for pumping gas." Hundreds of comments flooded in. Profiling. No reason. That's why we don't trust law enforcement. Clarity or not, the reaction was immediate. At home, Anthony's wife Lorraine sat rigid at the kitchen table, phone in hand, after a quiet call from him at the station. "They've got me," he said. Her instinct was to rush down, but he told her not to. Keep the kids inside. He sounded calm, measured, like he always did in court. Their sons, Caleb and Isaiah, hovered in the doorway. "What's happening?" Isaiah whispered. Lorraine's voice cracked. "Your father will be home soon." Meanwhile, in Riley's diner, truckers and night shift workers watched videos, and talked loud enough to fill the back room. Arrested for pumping gas, one said, slamming a fist. That's my station. A waitress shook her head. He didn't do a thing. You could see it in his face. Officer Brenner's cousin sat near, scrolling through comments, jaw tightening, with every judgment. Out at a bar, some scoffed that they didn't know the full story, while others snapped back, he was literally at a pump. At the precinct, Anthony sat quiet in a holding cell. Another detainee asked what he'd been arrested for. Pumping gas, he said, a dry smile on his lips. The man laughed, until Anthony said it again, and that smile faded fast. When an officer came to fingerprint him, Anthony asked for a phone call, dialed Lorraine softly. It's okay. They don't know who I am yet. Lorraine stiffened. What do you mean? He breathed. They'll find out tomorrow. The line went quiet afterward. She didn't know whether to feel relief or fear. By midnight, the video was already a local news story. Questions arise after Grove City arrest. Anchors played the clip cautiously. Blurred faces noted the department's silence, but comments online were raw. This is outrageous. They need to be held accountable. Meanwhile, officers Dunley and Brenner shrugged it off in their cruiser. He thought he was above the law, Dunley said. Brenner smirked. Tomorrow, he'll be just another complaint. They had no idea how wrong they were. Dawn came, courthouse pulse steady, normal day undercut by an undercurrent of shock. The officers walked through, nozzle locked in their minds, confident a rehearing or statement would end it. But the room felt different. Reporters, witnesses, cameras. Lorraine, sons at her side, eyes locked on the door as the bailiff called the court to order. Then the doors swung back, and Judge Anthony Riker entered. In black robe, calm, resolute, the air froze. Reporters dropped pens. Lorraine inhaled sharply, too stunned to cheer. Dunley's mouth opened. Brenner's eyes widened. Riker took his seat. Calm voice. This court will hear the case of officers Mark Dunley and Kyle Brenner, charged with misconduct in the arrest of one Anthony Riker. The name landed like a bomb. The officers paled. This was the same man. Dunley squirmed. Conflict of interest, he stammered. Riker raised a hand. The conflict isn't mine. Yours is in your actions. Silence, he gestured. Clark began. Witnesses sworn. The man from the red box machine came forward. I saw the whole thing, he said. He swiped, pumped gas. Then they yanked him down without cause. Dunley muttered, This is ridiculous. Captured on tape. Riker tilted his gaze. You will have your turn. For now, you listen. You could feel the shift. Authority, humility, tension, all mixing in cold air. Brenner started, voice cracking. We thought we were responding to a call. Riker pressed. What did this call say? The shake in Brenner's words was real. That someone looked suspicious. Riker? Suspicious how? Pumping gas? Standing by a car? That silence spoke truths louder than words ever could. Every sound felt amplified in that courtroom. The scratch of pens, the shift of papers, the hold-your-breath moment after every answer. Riker called again. Any more witnesses? A cashier stepped up, voice trembling. He paid. He did nothing. They never checked with me. The officers shrank under that simple reframing. Riker looked at them, then his family, then down again. Someone whispered, You're doing the right thing. He nodded. Testimony concluded. Recess before decision. The room exhaled. Chambers. He closed his eyes, thought of his father's words. Anger eats you. Justice is balance. He settled his breathing, returning to the bench. Facts aren't complicated, he began. When court resumed, I was detained without cause. Witnesses confirm. Officers' reports misalign. Misconduct established. Murmurs. He weighed words, no revenge, just accountability. Brenner, younger, maybe misled. Dunley, senior, responsibility greater, escalation clear. Dunley tried to protest. Riker's gavel cut in. Sit down, officer. Riker continued steadily. I refer formal findings of misconduct and recommend immediate suspension pending review. This court cannot strip badges. That's your department's job. But I will ensure this record follows you. Silence. Shock. Faces draining. Then Riker looked to the gallery. Law is only as strong as the fairness in it. May this restore public trust. The gavel dropped. Hearing adjourned. In the hush afterward, Lorraine squeezed her sons. The newsroom erupted. Reporters swarmed. Riker lingered on the bench. The officers sat stunned. Brenner muttered, "We're finished." Dunley silent, jaw clenched. At home later, the tableau changed. Dinner table calm, pot roast steaming, robe folded on the couch. Conversation was slow, reverent. "You did what you had to do," Lorraine whispered. Anthony nodded. "Everything in me wanted to remind them how it felt. But I looked at you and the boys. I chose fairness." Isaiah asked, "Weren't you scared?" He exhaled, "Yes. Fear is natural, but it doesn't excuse your choices. I chose calm and fairness." Caleb chuckled. "They looked terrified today." Anthony smiled. "Understanding isn't enough. Behavior must change next." Quiet settled. Kids thought it over, soaking in more than dinner. Later, on the porch under dim street lamps, Anthony paused. Neighbors walked by. One offered a wave. "We're proud of you, Judge Riker." He nodded humbly. Inside, Caleb and Isaiah watched clips of the hearing online. Posts like, "This is how justice looks. Proud kids, proud father." He felt pride too, but not in himself, in the lesson planting roots. That night, he and Lorraine sat quietly. "Do you think it'll change anything?" she asked. He thought, "Not everything, but maybe it'll remind people that authority holds boundaries, that no one is above accountability, and humility is strength." She squeezed his hand. Lesson delivered. He closed his eyes, knowing tomorrow would bring headlines and debate, but tonight held peace. The story of that gas station arrest would not be forgotten. Some would retell the officer's fall, others the irony of fate. But those who listened closer would hear the true lesson. Real justice doesn't come from anger, but from the strength to rise above it. A lesson not for revenge, but for enduring dignity.